Hey Jesse, what are we doing today?
Well, I suppose it's about time to buy another car.
Yeah, it's been a week trying to buy a car. You know, we're pretty bad at this. So not just any car, actually. I'm not buying a car for once.
It's me.
You are. We're driving over to Fort Dodge right now because last yesterday, coming back from Power Tour, on the way back, something popped up on Marketplace, and I was like, oh, a 5-speed in what looks to be good shape, in flat black, and I believe that's a T5.
Indeed it might.
So take your guesses now on what it is, but we're gonna go pick it up. Well, what do you think?
It is a car.
It is a car. What are we looking at, Jess?
Well, here we have an 84 Camaro.
An 84 Camaro 3rd gen with the 2.8 liter. It's rough, don't get me wrong. The fender's all smashed in. There's rust in the doors.
Also not original fender.
Yep, it was an auto car, but it's not
5-speed
anymore.
manual.
This thing was said to have ran and then just shut off. Didn't run anymore. And he believes it to be spark issues. I see the coil is disconnected. If I remember right, they said they burnt the starter out trying to get it to run. I see a lot of vacuum hoses that are disconnected. A lot of connections that are disconnected. This is one of the electric carburetors. And those things are just excellent. But this is truly a carburetor. I thought it to be TBI, but it is actually a carburetor. Or see if the first thing we need to do is replace the starter, because it would be really cool to try to drive this thing home. But in case we can't, we brought the trailer. Okay. Yeah, this starter's bad. Alright, so we looked it over. We decided for what it is, what price we're given, we can, if nothing else, get this thing running and maybe make a couple bucks off it and make a fun video out of it, feed on it a little. So we're gonna load this on the trailer, take it home, and fix it there. Well, sir, thank you very much.
Dirty hand.
Oh, don't worry about it. You're probably gonna get dirtier from shaking my hand. All right, in she goes. Where are you going? Oh, hey, pro tip, unlock the steering wheel before you try to ever tow a car.
It does help.
You have to have keys to move a car. All right, ready? I'm gonna try this one-handed. Aim well. The turd gen?
No.
No, not the turd gen.
We'll figure out a name, and by we, I mean I, not you.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah. Come on, kitties.
Turd gen.
No.
There's flies having sex on your car. Fly sex marrow.
No.
There's a washer. Aw, it's broken. Man, dumb. Hang on. How did you get in there? How did you? All right. Go adventure.
You scratched my paint.
Oh no, you scratched my dent. Boop. 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 This reminds me all too much of one animal that I poked with a stick. Boop. Well, I guess if the rest of this video sucks, at least there was a kitten that fell off the car. I'm cute too.
No.
Here you go. In you go. You're doing great.
I can't reach it with this hand.
All right, you got your starter in?
It's in.
Wait, turn around. Did you enjoy putting the starter in?
Gonna kill this car.
He's a true car enthusiast already. All right, hit the key, see if you did it right. Well, the starter's good. It sounds healthy, but as you can see, there's no spark. Let's start some magical freaking testing of stuff. Yeah, diagnostics. Here you go. That's the word. Ready, go. Okay, so what we've got here is our 12 volt hooked up to the coil. We have a ground and a ground. One to interrupt the circuit to discharge the coil, and one to catch the spark. So, it's very faint, but if you look right here, when I go like this, you can see the spark jump between these two. Oops. So this tells us that our coil is good. A little weak, but good. So it's not an issue with the coil. I believe it to be an issue with whatever is supposed to ground this per 6-cylinder strikes. So it's either something in the coil, or sorry, it's either something in the distributor or something in the old computer ordeal. I'm not exactly sure how this thing works yet. Per this engine, like I said, I've never worked on one of them, and the only information you can find for these 2.8 liters online is all for S10s, which work a little different. Alright, so what you see in front of you is a bunch of science that I'm using to both teach myself about HEI distributor ignition systems and figure out what's wrong with that one. So side note, we've concluded on that one that the crank position sensor is working, which on an HEI style unit is this guy right here, this wire. These two wires, it's the coil pickup that these prongs are. You know, for science and stuff. Science, yay science. So when these prongs pass these other points, that is the coil, and it makes a signal and an AC current, which is conducted in this little computer chip, the ICM, the ignition control module, and fed through the ground to the coil. So you got 12 volts in, pickup, ground out to coil, and that interrupts the coil circuit and produces a spark by shorting out the coil. So there's an easy way to test these things. Put your pickup on the pickup side, which is the white and green WG. Put a screw in the grounded pocket. Take your test light. This is going to act as our coil, and put it on the coil, the C part of the HEI, and take 12 volts. I'm just using a battery charger, and I have it grounded to the base and positive going here to the battery. So remember, what this is doing is when it sees an AC current, it's connecting this side to ground through here. So since this is seeing a ground, if I put it on a positive side and I spin the pickup coil, you can see that it's grounding the coil, which would be the same as a spark. Speaking of, so I can confirm that this HEI module is in fact working and producing spark for the distributor. So I can use this to test some other things in that car, but at the same time I'm going to take that one off, put it over here, and test it. That one's a little different because it's got the pickup and it's got a computer input spot, and it has the interruption side. So everything's the same, but it has 3 more prongs. This has, as you can see, it would have springs and weights right here for mechanical time in advance. That one does not have mechanical time in advance. It's all computer controlled. So it has a third plug to control the computer controlled advance. Okay, we've had a breakthrough. You ready for some science?
Science.
Science. Okay, so as I showed you, I set all this up over here, and I rigged this one up the same way as I rigged up the 4-prong HEI. And this one does something different. It would always be illuminated, but when I turn it, it dims. So I don't know if that actually works right. But coming over here to where I now have the 4-prong HEI wired into the distributor down yonder. It's a combination of wires and lights. But if Jesse cranks it, go ahead. you can see that this light flashes. What this light is the interruption for the coil to ground. But you'll notice that it does not spark. Crank it one more time. So, what I've noticed though, is if I pull on this wire, go ahead. We have spark. So literally all that's wrong, potentially, is there's a bad wire in there that just needs pulled on. That's it. So I'm gonna put this all back together with that one, put that back in, hook everything back up, and see if when I pull on that wire, it sparks. The OEM, well not the OEM, but the original style 7-pin ICM is back in. And sure enough, if I pull on this pink wire, go ahead and crank it, Jess. I don't know why it like just sits there and screams, but it does. So that's a thing. So now I need to just figure out what the hell's wrong with this pink wire and why it's not getting connection up here. And then put the cap and rotor back on and fire this thing up. Okay, so all I had to do was take this clip off and smack these pins up here with the little mallet, just tap them farther into the coil because they all got loose. And just like that, it was fixed. So just go ahead and turn the key on. It does do this now. You can hear it and see it ionizing the air. Alright, turn it off. So the coil might have a couple issues. It might have some grounding issues or something. It's just a lot of spark is all. It's gonna be really, really powerful. I'm sure as soon as we put that high tension wire on, it'll be fine. So let's go ahead and reassemble the distributor, make sure all the wires aren't being smashed anymore, put everything together and see if this thing runs. What do you say?
Sounds good.
Let's do it. Stop. Okay, so switching our wires around did not fix our issue, and it still cranks just as hard. But I was able to crank the distributor all the way one way, and it went pit, 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 and stopped. So I thought, okay, someone must have messed with our timing, and it's way out of whack. So I'm going to show you once again how to set your initial timing. Come over here, where we need it. Down here on your harmonic balancer, you're going to run your timing mark to 0, as you can see. And there's 2 times that that's going to line up, at top dead center or at bottom dead center of the piston. So you're going to come over here to the first piston, piston number 1, cylinder number 1, remove the spark plug, stick a screwdriver or shine a light down in it, and you will be able to see top of the piston. You can't see it in here, but in real life you can look and you can spin the engine and you watch it move up and down. So right now I know that piston is all the way up. My timing mark is at 0. I am at top dead center. So at this point, my rotor needs to be pointing at number 1 on the cap, which is right here. But right now, it's pointing at about number 3. So I need to bring this here, which means my distributor's been removed before and was not installed correctly. So I need to take it back out and install it correctly with that rotor pointing at cylinder number 1. Now when you pull it out and drop it in, it's going to have a natural twist to it. It's tricky. It's a pain in the ass, but you gotta get it to line up perfectly with number 1. And then you'll have enough room to move your timing around and set your initial timing. So this is gonna suck because it's a tiny little distributor way in the back, but I'm going to pull that out and get that set, and then we'll be back. When it comes to cool looking engine bays for first starts, where you can see a lot going on, this is not one of them. On the camera, it's just a big cluttered mess of crap. Don't worry, that's what it looks like in real life too, so you guys aren't missing anything. Alright, go for it. 40 degrees. Might have my distributor might not be right or something's off, but alright, shut her down.
It runs!
It does run. Pretty shitty, but it runs. Reverse gear. An exhaust leak on your side. It runs though. I'm expecting the brake pedal to fall off again. Ready? Doing 7,000 RPM. That's not bad.
Actually, that's way faster than I was expecting.
Yeah, damn. Well, 2.8 means business. Oh, brake pedal fell to the floor already.
What is that noise?
I don't know, but something seems wrong. Everything looks fine, sadly. I pulled the e-brake because the brake pedal fell to the floor, and it sounded like the world was ending. Still running good. Shaft just fell off. Something's bouncing around. I'm gonna try to get it back again. Something's wrong with our transmission. Something down here is when I hit bumps or like change input variation. So we're gonna pull it back in the shop and see what that atrocious noise was. I'm going to guess the transmission like isn't bolted in or something crazy, because I know this was an automatic car and it's not now. Okay, so welcome to underneath the Camaro, where I have discovered what all the noise was. I don't know what's going on here per se, why this is like this, but I know that this bushing is the shape of this fork, and this large fork that you'll see the whole car moves when I move it, because it connects to the rear axle. And when it's not particularly bolted to anything, it can move around and, you know, hit the ground and smack into the tunnel because it was never bolted up. So that's the problem. That's the large exploding noise of pain we hear. Okay, so as you could hear, we had a little bit of a tick noise coming out of there, and we figured that was valve train. And sure enough, that was definitely valve train. But what we're gonna do is go ahead and set our preload. It should be about a half a turn to 3/4 of a turn. And then we will throw some RTV in here, seal everything up, and call her good. And then Jesse can go play with it for a few months and then do whatever he's gonna do with it.
Good morning, everyone. We're back.
Alright, battery's connected. RTV is dry. Let's see if our engine noise is gone. It should be. That was a very loose rocker, which is either just loose or a very wiped cam lobe. But we don't care. Alright, give her a few pumps and fire it up. She's a little cold. That's odd. I don't hear our coil of death making any more noise. Well, let's get the pin repositioner. 3000. I don't know why the coil does weird things. It's really a true mystery, huh? Alright, key on.
Key on.
There we go. Alright, fire it. Yeah, it's 1984.
Yeah, I just forgot.
You don't have a single computer assistant in this because this is a real car.
Oh, I know.
Now, a real car your way out of here with a big floppy burnout. Just clutch dump this sucker. That was violent.
That sounded very violent.
That was very violent. It was like, rev limiter!
I hate not having a tach because I have no idea what.
Oh, yeah, he has no speedometer, no tach.
Ooh, but the
no
fuel gauge
oil
works.
Gauge.
Alright, did it.
Fourth or shot.
Meant to do that.
Ta-da! And there begins the parking lot. This is where all the cars are going to sit now. So there you have it. That is our $700 third-gen Camaro. Jesse's first project car. He's going to be, it's pretty much road ready for now. Road ready. Basically, it's going to break on him a lot, and he's going to learn how to fix cars. By force.
Yay.
The best way. So, this just goes out there to prove that you guys can find fun, manual, cheap vehicles if you look in the right places. I found this on Facebook Marketplace. So with that, make sure you guys do the usual. Go subscribe to all the other guys. Deboss Garage, Vice Grip Garage, Thunderhead 289, Classic Mustangs 429, Dylan McCool, and Junkyard Mook. Ugh, that's the whole family. Go check those guys out. They all have equally good content. What are you doing?
It's always snowing here in Iowa.
You trying to pick cotton out of the air?
Yeah. There's so many.
We'll see you guys next time in Junkyard Digs. Be good to yourselves out there. Peace. What? Where's your mullet?
It's getting there.